It's loose back here. So if you've only got your dog on your halty, dog pulls it off, you've lost the dog. But when you've got 2 points of contact, that's not a concern. What I did, no.
It was in there, size 3.
It is.
So where's the other point of contact? The harness?
Harness.
You just haven't gotten it there yet. Okay.
We're just
Harness
talking.
or the collar? Okay.
We're just talking.
That's the halty. But did he say the halties now has a different name? Somebody else brought it out. Halt. Is the halty and the halt the same thing, or is halt making a halty and a different name?
I think they're both still around. They're both got, there's halties out and there's holts out. They're just owned by the same people.
I'm just going to check on dogs. Okay, I just have to.
No.
That I have in my bag.
Okay.
Let
me get through the presentation and hopefully I will answer any of these questions. Okay. So here's a nice.
The problem is this, we need the plug for it.
The plug that goes in the end. There's also a piece that's supposed to go on the pump that I didn't get. It was hard to blow this up. Well, I would think so.
You're a miracle worker.
You just have to keep your finger there.
Whose is it? Barney's. Oh. Okay. So again, we're going to adjust it back here. A note about clipping anything behind the dog's ears. If you can muffle it, put your fingers there and muffle it. You can't imagine how disturbing that is to a dog to have this loud clip right behind his ears. So, again, it's just respectful. Okay, so this is on, but it's nice and loose. Nice and loose. The new ones are padded. I know where you live. Okay. The halties come with an extra little piece. This was their answer to the trainers that said, you're going to lose the dog. So what they did was they put this extra piece on here to be connected to the collar. But of course, we as T-Touch practitioners don't like anything that's going to restrict the dog, because this can really cause a problem with cervical spine. So we take this off and we use it for any other possibilities that you can use it for. You can hang chimes from it if you want.
Camera strap. Camera strap.
There you go. Okay, so now you connect your leash to it. First of all, this fits further out the nose, not near as much effort to bring the dog's face around to you as it's going to be with it up against the dog's eyes. Anytime there's a strap up against the dog's eyes, it's going to cause a little more worry on the dog's part. So this is out here, it's loose, it's padded, it's short. So much less effort to bring the dog's head around to me. And I've got my second point of contact somewhere. So if he does pull it off, I have not lost the dog. So I wanted to put the two of them on so you see how differently they fit. This is tight, this is loose.
The brown one is the gentle leader.
Gentle leader, right. The black one is
the
halty.
gentle leader tight, or I use it sometimes. Well, I don't use it tight on my dog ever. So
If that's all you got as a gentle leader, then because we do the 2 points of contact, there's no reason to keep it on tight. The only reason they put it on so tight is to keep it on.
Yeah.
And I think dogs mess around much more with a gentle leader on because it's bothersome.
Yeah.
The other concern, though, from our standpoint, is anything that fits tight up high on the head like that, well, anywhere, but up high on the head, again, you're increasing the probability or possibility for cervical spine damage.
What about, and I see this more with the gentle leader, so I was just wondering if you see it where it rides up into their eyes, and I've almost stopped using the gentle leader because it will
That's why I'm showing you how close this is to his eyes.
On the longer snouted dogs like shepherds, that could really affect them because it comes right up to their eyes.
Right.
Yeah, one of my
Now,
dogs, I found it right at his eyelid.
And you see that all the time. And you see people walking their dogs like this, and the darn whatever they're using, it's right up here in their eyes. How useful is this?
So I guess I'm still surprised at how loose the halty is. It's supposed to be that
All
loose.
a head harness is for is to gently control the head. If you can control where the head is going, you control where the dog is going. It's never meant for correction. It's never meant for, this kind of stuff. Now, granted, whatever head harness you have on, if you got a dog lunging to bite something, you can pull up and close their mouth. But that's momentary. It's not the way you're going to have them spend the day with their mouth shut.
An extreme circumstance.
Yeah, but it is a tool that you could, close their mouth with it. And I think you'd have a much better chance of closing the mouth with a strap that's further down the nose than you do with one that's up here by the eyeballs. Again, mechanics. Okay. How many of you have heard of a snoot loop? Okay. Snoot loop, there are some training centers that have gone absolutely positive reinforcement that will only use a snoot loop only because of the ability to adjust it in a gazillion different places. Snoot loops were invented in the first place for brachycephalic dogs. Do you all know what I mean by brachycephalic? Smush-nosed dogs, pugs,
I was getting ready to ask what you do
Bostons,
for, like, bulldogs and stuff.
pitties, yeah.
Boston.
Okay, so you see you've got, so then the problem is all of the adjustment points. It takes forever to get a snoot loop on if you've got to start from scratch. So once you get it adjusted, okay, now it's on. But the thing that I don't care about, besides the time it takes to adjust it, is that it's a thin strap across the nose, which again I think might be a problem for comfort. But when you're dealing with that much nose, you can't have a wide strap. So poor little brachycephalic dogs just kind of get the short end of everything. So I don't know if this is going to fit this dog, but we'll try. I'm going to take something off here so you can see. Okay, and just like everything else, when we put equipment on, we're doing it from the side of the dog, not the front of the dog. So you can just hope that you have a dog that's very patient while you do all this adjusting. I'm not going to adjust the strap.
Do you find that
Let's see.
clients will use this if you help them adjust it the first time and then they can put
Well-
it on, or does it just look too complex for them?
If you go ahead and get it all set up for them, then they'll typically use it. But to
One thing
just
I noticed-
sell somebody a snoot loop, they're not going to use it.
One thing I noticed with the Halti, because you have to push the loop up before you put it in, like people, they often have it on wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Like they have it,
Well,
you have to push it up, you actually have to do something to get it on, and they're just put on like upside down.
I was working at a training one time and I brought my dog. And we had taken the class down to another area
I say people, I mean
to
me.
work, with the class. So my dog had to stay back at the facility, so we had one of the assistants stay there with the dogs.
Were you putting a Halti on and talking about the adjustment?
Not at this moment.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, because he already had one that was adjusted.
I got back and my poor dog was looking at me with these wild eyes, bulging eyes, and I was looking at him thinking, what happened, Gabriel? And I walked over to him and he had something red on his face. And I'm trying to think how she did this. Somehow or another she had a gentle leader on him that was backwards.
That's what I've
Like
seen.
this. She had this thing crammed on his face so tight. And he's just, his eyes are literally bulging out of his face.
for?
Probably an hour and a half.
And then you clip
What
it
kind of dog
on
was
after
he?
that. It
What
was,
is he? What breed is he?
He's a mixed breed. Gabriel has a long nose. But and his personality, it's like, what are you doing to me? I didn't need it. But I just looked at her and I
I've seen
thought,
that.
really?
That's what I've
You
seen.
don't know how to put a gentle leader on and you're assisting?
Yeah,
And you
'cause
did it
have
to my
take
dog?
Right. Yeah.
I've seen it too.
And why
with
did she put it on her?
inventions across the
Because
muzzle?
nobody was around, right?
I bought a gentle leader for him, and I
That's
went to the
I had
video
lots of, I had
and
lots of
ate
Why
wives,
is it
believe me.
needed?
the way
I had lots of
he
wives.
had it on.
Is this
And I
something you
threw
can
away.
leave on your dog if they're in the fight, or
Yeah,
do you take
forget it.
everything
Threw it
off?
away.
Can
I
they
used
hurt
it once.
themselves with it? I mean, just since you mentioned that it was left on.
I would not leave a head harness on a dog.